Hi, Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey here. I'm often asked about snacks. Let's talk. All right, you know, so much of our life revolves around food, and we label the food breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks. What the heck is a snack? It's really just food. How big is a snack? I don't know. How big is a haystack? It's as big as it is. How small is a snack? It's as small as it is. The common things that when we're following the ketogenic protocol can be the, ever popular pork rinds. Some people don't love them, but a lot of people do, and there are many, many varieties of them. What you want to do when you are considering something like pork rinds for a, air quotes, snack, is to look at the labels. My husband and I learned this the hard way. We were on a road trip. We stopped at a convenience store for gas, ran in, got some pork rinds of various flavors, brought them out, started eating them on the road, and the ones that were so delicious, chicharrones, not the brand, was labeled chicharrones, can't remember the brand. Turns out they were actually made of wheat. They just called them chicharrones. Very high in carbs. So you want to look at serving size. A bag of pork rinds is not a serving. Look at the ingredients and look at the total carb count. They're usually quite low in carbs, but you do want to always double check, not just on pork rinds, but on any food product. Look at the nutrition label, check what equals a serving, and then check how many carbs there are per that serving. Now, getting away from the pre-made, over-the-counter, convenience store foods, anything can be a so-called snack, and maybe we shouldn't call them snacks. We should just call them food. Here is an example of something my husband and I shared, some thick sliced bacon with some chunks of cheese. Now, here's something my husband likes often. A couple of slices of Havarti cheese with some almonds. Granted, almonds are not on page 4. Nuts are not on page 4. My husband can tolerate almonds, and he doesn't go overboard. One of the reasons nuts are not on page 4 is because they're very easy to overeat. He is regimented about it. So a little bit of cheese, a little bit of coffee, a few almonds, it's all good. So that would be considered, well, frankly, that's now considered his midday meal. He used to have 3 actual, traditional meals a day, even on keto, but now that is his midday meal. This is a little platter our adult daughter prepared for me when I was visiting her on the West Coast. Some hard meat, some cheese, and some curd. Okay, that was new to me. And she had a little mason jar of Chardonnay with ice cube in it, because she knows how I like it. That was actually a meal for me. So I'm going to say again, let's get away from the idea of oh, that's a snack. Let's try that's a meal. Actually, that was a lot of food for me. And sometimes in my old beat up glass coffee mug, sometimes a nice frothy coffee is enough. You don't have to call it a snack or a meal or a beverage. You can just, I'm a little bit hungry, I'm going to have this right now, or I'm thirsty, or I enjoy it. Now, I've been to parties. This one was laid out by hashtag my friend Jen. And cheese, pickles, those are in the left-hand corner are some pre-made cheese crackers and some hard meats, then some meatballs. It's not hard to put out a spread of keto-friendly foods. And this was my plate. There's a totally loaded deviled egg, pork rinds, and some meatballs and a cucumber, I think, with a little salmon and cream cheese on top. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be called a meal. It doesn't have to be called dinner. It doesn't have to be labeled as a snack. This was at a local wine bistro where I have had meetups before, and this was a charcuterie tray. There's the wine. And we just said, bring the charcuterie, leave off the honey and the dried fruits. Super easy and so delicious. And, it was enjoyed by the group. So snack or a meal? Now, okay, trigger warning. Sardines. These are some sardines, and it's a small plate. It looks like giant fish, these little sardines. And boiled eggs. We can have very simple foods to stave off, if we're hungry, but we don't need we don't need a giant platter of food. Couple of boiled eggs with some salt and pepper, delish. Another thing, I have made homemade beef jerky. My husband particularly likes the beef jerky. I like it a little bit, but he really likes it. And I have a video about how I go about making it, keeping it on hand, preserving it, a couple of flavorful strips of dehydrated beef. Now, this is a little bit different. We were in Colombia and at a favorite place of ours, at the Finca de Rigo, and that, of course, that's a zero sugar Pepsi for my husband and a bourbon for me. But here's the snack part. We just ordered off the appetizer menu, and it's just chorizo or sausages and a little bit of salsa, and in the background some guacamole and patacon. That was our dinner, and that was for 2 people. And frankly, he got the lion's share, which was totally fine. The servers were perfectly happy to do it. They didn't look at us at all. It was not a problem. And of course, beyond the food, the setting was beautiful. The company was fantastic. And that's really what things should be about, not focusing on food. I mean, look at that setting. It was great. And oh yeah, my husband was getting the last bit of everything right there. He was trying to sneak that, but I got it on camera. This is a platter put together with some leftover stuff from the holidays, some cheese, a couple of types of salmon. This came from Costco, and then some Dijon mustard in the center with lime. Again, this was for several people. If you like this, keep it in mind. Remember, it doesn't have to be huge meals, and if I can do this, you can do this. Thanks.